Hi, I'm Kat and I work at the Olympia REI store. In this class, we are going to go over a pre-ride inspection that you can do before every ride to make sure that your bike is in safe working order. We use the ABC quick check. A is for air, B is for brakes, C is for chain and cranks, and quick check is just a couple extra things to check before you get on your bike. Starting with A, which is air, we want to make sure that our tires are aired up and ready to go before we take off on our ride. First thing you can do is take your hand and put it over your tire like this and grab or push down with the palm of your hand. If it feels firm or it feels like you had just pumped it up, you're good to go. If it feels a little squishier than normal, it's probably a good idea to attach your pump and make sure that there's enough air in your tire. First of all, we want to make sure that we know where our PSI range is, which is on the sidewall of the tire. Depending on what type of a ride you're looking for in your bike, you might want to go on the lower end of that PSI range or the higher end of that PSI range. More air in your tires, you're going to feel more of the road. A lower PSI, especially with a heavier rider, you might run the risk of getting a pinch flat, which we're going to talk about in more detail in the Fix a Flat section. Also, there are a couple different valve types on your bike. This one happens to be a Schrader valve. You can tell that it's a Schrader valve because it looks exactly like the valve that you have on your vehicle. Presta valves, will show an example of that later on in Fix a Flat. You also want to make sure that with whatever pump you have, that it is compatible with your valve type. If you have an older pump, you might want to make sure that it is the right valve type if it was pre-Presta valve. Go ahead and attach your pump. Make sure that your lever is locked in the locked position and pump up to whatever desired pressure you want in your tires. For Schrader valves especially, make sure that you don't forget to put your cap back on your valve to keep any dirt or debris from filling up your the hole in your valve. Next up is B, which is for brakes. We want to make sure that our brakes are in good working order before we get on our bike and go for a ride. First thing that I usually recommend is to stand over your cockpit, put both hands on your brake levers and give them a good squeeze. If they pull all the way to your grips or they feel spongy or aren't releasing in the way that if they kind of are sticking when you release them, that's a good indication that you should bring your bike into a shop and have that checked out. I also like to isolate both the front and the rear brake to make sure that both are working well. Starting with the front brake, which in most cases is your left hand, grab and pull the brake lever. Give your bike a shove, and if the rear wheel comes off the ground, that means that your front brake is working. For your rear, right is rear in most cases. Grab your rear brake, push your bike along the ground, and if your rear wheel skids, that means that your rear brakes are in good working order. After you check your brakes, if anything doesn't feel right, just go ahead and take your bike into a shop, as it is a little bit more of a complicated process to fix them on your own. Next up is C, which is for chain. We want to make sure that everything is running through the gears smoothly. So while your bike's on the ground, just go ahead and grab your pedal and start pedaling backwards, just making sure that nothing is sticking as you are pedaling backwards and your chain is running through the cassette and the derailleur. Also, as part of C is cranks. I want to make sure that there's no play in my cranks, so just go ahead, take your hands on the very ends of your crank arms and just try to give a wiggle back and forth to make sure that the crank arms aren't loose or there isn't any play in your bottom bracket. Last step is the quick check, and we just want to make sure that, especially if you have a quick release skewer bike, that your skewer levers are closed all the way and firmly. So just go ahead and just make sure that you can't open them very easily and it's a little bit hard to close them all the way. And lastly, in that quick check piece, get on your bike, go for a ride around the block, run through all of your gears, make sure that you brake, do some hard braking, make sure that everything feels good, and then you're ready to ride your bike. Thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful. This is one in a series, so check out our other videos.